Hello, I'm Adam Schlegel. I've been with the University Fire Department for approximately 3.5 years. I came here from Washington specifically because of the student firefighter program and the great structure that it has to also motivate us and also to further us in our career. So I'm going to talk about what the company's leadership is good and what's the motivational practice that they use that keeps us going, and also what could be better. So, Adam Burnett already talked about the general structure of our department and how they work from the top down and from the bottom up. And I'm just going to go ahead and touch on our leaders and what they do to motivate us. So it starts with we have a fire chief, Doug Schrage, battalion chief, Pat Mead, and Ron Templeton, and Greg Kuhn. And there's one per shift, three total. Captains, we have Captain Craig House, Captain Sean Aldrich, Captain Flagel, Captain Ben Flagel, Captain Greg Bean, Captain Forrest Kuiper, and Captain Dan Weatherly. So there's three of those guys out, or two per shift, so six total that watch over their shifts. We usually have one lieutenant per shift, which is also a student, but they are also our leaders, and they strive to motivate us to do good for them. So that's also part of our leadership is our lieutenants, and then there's approximately 40, 45 students depending on the time of the year who are all working together to form the University Fire Department. The reason why the structure and command of University Fire Department is so great to me is because every single person from the fire chief all the way down to the lowest Pro B firefighter is here to work hard, and I personally feel that they're all would be willing to give their life to save somebody or to save my life. So that motivates me right off the bat to do my best and to give my all for them as well. One great thing about there's many great things about Chief Doug Schrage, but a couple of things that come to mind when I think about what motivates me to work for him. He's extremely dedicated. He started here as a student firefighter. He worked for 25 years as a firefighter all the way up to assistant chief in Anchorage, which is a very big department. And now he's back here not because of the money, but because of the love and the dedication he has for this department and for the situation that all the students are in. He's very educated. He teaches a lot of our classes. He teaches a lot of fire classes through the conferences, and he is working on his master's degree. So he is very educated in the fire service itself, as well as reaching out into the community and into the university system. He's extremely qualified. He has any certification you could think of, and he's had experience with all those certifications for 20 plus years. So he brings that dedication and expertise to our battalion chiefs and captains, which in turn comes onto the students. He's really down to earth. He's like a father figure to a lot of us, and he treats us well. He treats us like we're family, and he is always there to support us no matter what we need. And he's always there for us. So having a CEO type person that is that personal and that dedicated to protecting us and helping us is the biggest motivator I think of all about Chief Schrage. All right, moving on to our battalion chiefs. We have three battalion chiefs, one that watches over A, B, and C shift, and they also come with extreme amount of expertise and experience. Altogether, they probably have over 60 years of experience. So a lot of the expertise that they have is in one part or the other of the fire service. For example, Chief Mead is very experienced with mechanics and working on our rigs. So having that expertise of him teaching us how to work on our fire trucks and ambulances comes off onto us and also motivates us to better know our rigs. Chief Kuhn is extremely experienced in operations from wildland all the way to structure firefighting, and his expertise he teaches us in the summer for wildland, and he teaches us all about hose work and stuff like that. So that experience that Chief Kuhn has comes off as motivation as well. And then Chief Templeton, who he's new to the BC role, but he's been in the fire service since he was a young kid, and he's extremely good with fire prevention. So teaching little kids to stop, drop, and roll all the way to making sure that your house is safe and not going to catch on fire. So all three of those chiefs put together make for a great battalion chief corps for our department, and it also brings all the expertise and motivation through our leaders, because you gotta have your leaders watch over you, so you gotta work for them. That's the brief overview of our command structure and how they motivate us. The captains more work towards our direct leaders, or more like first line supervisors, and so their teachings come from the chief level all the way down to us, and then we work with them. There's very few parts I think that would add to make it better, but one is better communication. I think any working business, including a fire department, needs better communication, just because it's so difficult to get effective communication 100% of the time. We have people going to classes, 5 classes a day, all the way to going to calls, to getting training done that day as well. So communication is getting better, but that's something we can definitely improve on. And one of the things I would really like to see in the future for this fire department is an actual career position that these student firefighters can work towards. A career position where you can actually have a career, make money, and live your life in the fire service like we all want to. If we had a spot in the University Fire Department where we can do that on a firefighter level, that would motivate all of us. 100% of us would be motivated to work towards that position. So that is in the works right now, and I know that once that does become something that is possible, that will definitely be a big part of the motivation for the student firefighters to better themselves and moving on into that career role. So thank you for listening. This is a brief overview of our motivation and what our officers and supervisors bring to us as students, and why they're so effective at it. Thank you.